Okay, it's your mother. I'm just calling, checking to see if you got home safe, son. Give me a call so I won't worry. Love you. Bye.
I woke up out of a good night's sleep and slipped right into a daydream that may seem like a lifetime. Then the night rewind to this light shine upon my face as I awake to daydreaming to chase demons way to the evening till I'm sleeping. Then I awake freezing, I start screaming. It's late, sharp breathing, my heart still beating. Running through the pocket patch, thunderclap, lightning, rain, rivers running from the gaps, valleys, plains, hills, cornfields, the sun and path, running back above the map. Is this sleep deprivation or am I on deep medication? Am I meditating till I'm asleep but I keep awakening? I'm searching for the requiem inside my mind's aquariums, trying to break free from this lucid entrapment, using music as my blueprint for magic, my inception to my insurrection for madness. Blessed be priest message, each record's a classic. Pray there's no wreckage when her spirit exit the casket. I called her mommy till she's wrapped like a mummy. My first spaceship was her tummy. I ate what she ate when I'm hungry. Humbled, my arms crumbled as the grapes was taken from me. I shook like a quake, her spirit lift like a ship from a lake. Comfort me, when they come for me, I'ma embrace the entire space, the sun and sea. Then shout, Mom, you did great. Wonderfully, I came from the thunder inside your belly, healthy with 1 or 2 teeth. You taught me to speak, then God told me to preach, and gave me a sword for his head. I'ma take hold of the beast. Soon as your soul release, I'ma let go of peace. Now I'm ready for the war that was shown to me. I'm the devil's hunter, that's the spirit I'm under. I'ma chase you to nightfall, to the sun up, to break the chains of asunder. I have insomnia, on my way to the Andromeda. Study the planets like an astronomer. Interstellar, I'm telling with the elders from South America. I'm 51, and I'm familiar with that area. I'm with the healers when I wrote Rocket to Nebula. My veins are filled with the ancestors' blood, and I'm a replica of the messenger. When it rains, it's just a flood to cover the plains from something high-tech above. The unexplained, the sun is my main. I'm unreachable, untamed, unspeakable, unchanged. I remain the same. Only see growth through my deep quotes. Tell Thoth I'm in deep thought. I could break a bill if they free range. My mother's initials on God's keychain. Storm bills, cornfields, chasing up the Laurel Hill. I'll get at the sworn deals, born skills. Wintertime, warm meals. My mother's going on morning still. Waking up the morning chills. Pip to a dimension fillers to filters. Of spirits for healers. To becoming wireless into splitters. To deliver. You begin losing signal. They are little into crystals. In the middle. Behind the moon's gateway in the shape of an egg. No more naysayers as you're going through the lunar haze. Face plates. Infinity in the 8 shaped. The time is wintry, you see the gray 8. Then turn to the grave and say, where's your debate? For this is fate. I start unplugging, debugging. Before my transition, make man see woman. Then plant myself into the seed before the bee coming. I'm still in the cornfield running. Interstellar, Cinderella, said Cinderfella. I transcend from the nebula. This is the end of an era. I wish you good luck in all your endeavors. Release the pressure, the depressor. Then read the letters. Encounter us without seeing the body, like you emailed us. Delightful that it's not when you contact us, it's when we write you back. I used to watch continents fall just by my chi energy alone. I never used stone. I destroy cities by using cotton balls and big pillars of silken clouds. I watched their towers go down like a comet hit their walls, then smash their buildings with fog. That is all. The post verse. Trying to phone home, picking up ETs on the main line. After I crash, I'm experiencing amnesia and deja vu at the same time. And an unexpected close encounter of the 5th kind. The Akashic Records, Book of Revelations, we experience the 6th sign. What the prophets predict, shift paradigms. Do we believe in the tarots or their minds? The man that travels through the shadows till he shines. Factual, they don't attack you, they attack the genes. My black queen took the vaccine. They blaspheme, ask Tutankhamen. They get curses when you unmask kings. Martin Luther and his one last dream. Riding bikes, climbing heights, whiny heights, flying kites, lighting pipes, Mayan sights, driving pipes, find a blinding light, road at night, motorbike, roller coaster sight, closer bright, poltergeist.
Okay, it's your mother. I'm just calling, checking to see if you got home safe, son. Give me a call so I won't worry. Love you. Bye.
Message sent.
woman's alive. The black woman's alive. The black woman's alive. The black woman's alive.
Return the fugitives from American justice, including the return of the cop killer, Joanne Chesimard.
Flashback to the Turnpike 73. Cop shot on the floor. Who's the culprit aside of Shakur? First they attack the Panthers, they drop COINTELPRO papers with all these questions and then subtract the answers. These females think they got it hard, then result of dancing. Imagine being America's most wanted like Charles Manson. The epitome of a goddess, facing a murder rap, railroaded on all the charges. First they took her freedom in the hospital, shot up, still bleeding. Took her to the precinct for a lineup. Your Honor, wasn't interested in the facts, just the fact that the officer was white and she was black. When the trial was a rap, she was pregnant by a co-defendant. They put the gun to her stomach while a baby in it. Don't need another leader, they ain't wanna feed her, hoping she miscarried. That was the pig's manners. All along she had another plan, showed the strength of a queen that's from the motherland. All praises, she ended up in Cuba, no extradition. Black woman, you need to listen. The black woman's alive. The black woman's alive. The black woman's alive.
Every time I went delving deeper into the history of African people and the history of the world, which is the history of African people, I always bumped into the black woman. There was no way to get around the black woman in this whole process.
The black woman is God. She birthed man like blackness through the stars. When the creator made her, a portal opened in time. Now we manifest reality through a womb that's divine. It was prophesied that birth she'd be a leader. Umbilical, wrapped around her neck, call her Nzinga. Queen of Ndoga, queen of Matamba, kingdom of Mbundu, people of Angola. Ruler like a father, she serious with the combat. Slavery was poppin', she made the Portuguese fall back. Play it like she kidding, she bring it to where you all at. Turned a servant into a throne so she could talk facts. Pressure made her brother commit suicide. That's when she stepped up like it's do or die. Whatever the unified, never deal with cowards do. Mover of the generals, the black woman is powerful.
The black woman's alive. 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 The black woman's alive.
Now, I'm sure that most of you know the old story about the astronaut
The black woman's alive.
who went far out into space and was asked on his return whether he had been to heaven and seen God. And he said yes. And so they said to him, well, what about God? And he said,
Peace, y'all.
Peace. She's a black woman. That's what it was.
Have me all teary-eyed. Shouts to Killer Priest.
Shout out to Killer Priest for sure. To Capone for that song.
For real, that was beautiful. I started crying. Heard the voicemail at the end, like, oh my God.
Yes, from his mom from Killer Priest joint. Yes.
That's fire.
So it's so funny because we didn't really, get to our topic, talk about our topic, but I was really thinking tomorrow is the anniversary. My mom passed away 2 years ago. And then I heard that Killer Priest song, and I'm doing the mother show tomorrow. So I wanted to talk about motherhood. Why can't we let's talk about motherhood? I saw your beautiful son earlier today.
Yeah, today's my monkey man's birthday.
Yes. How old is he?
9.
Look at that cycle. That's a whole cycle completed right there.
Yeah, my man's having his This the expansion year.
Absolutely. Peace, Jackie.
Peace. I spent my whole morning looking at videos and pictures, crying. Like, you hear a
Aw.
voice like this? He was sleeping. Sure, I was staring at him sleeping. Like,
See?
he
Because
woke up.
being a mother is a blessing. Hmm?
It is. It really is. It's beautiful. It's beautiful hindsight.
It
It's
is. As I get
beautiful.
older, the more I can see the blessing in it, and the more I cherish, I think, my children. The older I get, the more I realize. When I was younger, I was busy trying to get that money. I had my first when I was 23, and I was like, I don't want to have a baby yet because I was trying to get like I had all these goals and these. I'm about to try to do all this, and I was like, I'm gonna still do it, and I tried to still do it, and it was just like I know now as an older adult that like that's some precious time. They only little for a little bit of time. They
Hmm.
spend most of their life with you, the first 14 to 16 years of their life. After that they visiting you, they seeing you every now and then, but most of the time they've ever spent with you will be the first like couple of years when they're at their youngest, and that's the time we be thinking we gotta grind and get everything and do all of this stuff, but that time with them is so precious. Like it's precious because you just never know, and then they grow up so fast. So look at
So
him, he's
fast.
9. Like now, I know you remember the day you gave birth to him, right?
Hmm. My area hurt every year, girl. It never fails. Like, oh, okay. Them the kind of growing pains. Y'all couldn't make my boobs grow every year. No. Give me the labor pains every year. That's what's up. I love it
Really?
here.
That's
um, yeah.
the labor pains. Yeah, I would have a C-section with all three of my children. And that area is always, I feel like it's still an open wound. Like it's always healing, and it's always a reminder. And I used to think about my mom when she had me, she had a C-section. And when I was younger, I always thought that they always gonna be like that. You remember back in the day, they cut them like this. They used to cut
Yeah.
you from up here. Like they didn't give a fuck what your stomach looked like. They didn't care what you was gonna look like after. They give a shit. And I was so scared when I had my first child because um I wasn't as conscious, about medicine, and I wasn't like willy-nilly getting shots and stuff, but I wasn't as conscious as far as like knowing that I need to be standing up when I'm giving birth, not laying down on my back like the doctor's making me do. This is why I won't dilate. This is why my body won't push the baby out. All of these things, right? And so I had a C-section because they were like, "Oh, your blood pressure." Well, you pressuring me right now. I'm feeling pressured. I'm feeling some kind of way. Just give me a second. But because I was so young, I just felt like do whatever the doctor tell me to. And I ended up with a C-section, and then with the second one, I was refusing. I was 44 weeks. Like I was holding that baby in. I was walking around. I was doing everything to get her out naturally, but my body would not. It wouldn't dilate. Like I would not go from past a half an inch, but I would be in full blown labor. Like this joint got to come out. So, the third one, I ended up having a scheduled C-section because they didn't want to chance you know, any kind of ripping or anything like that. And that's crazy, right? Because at the end
Mhm.
of the day, you really want to have your baby as natural as possible. But no matter how you have that baby, because I shout out to all the C-section mommies. When people think that shit is easy, it is not. Because the recovery from a C-section is major surgery, meaning that you're going to be 6 weeks out. Where if you pushing that baby out, you might be able to get up and move around in a couple of days or so. Me, I'm going to be walking like who did it what for, and please don't do it no more. At stables and all kinds of stuff. So shout out to all the mommies who gave birth to babies, and even if you didn't give birth to babies, if you raising somebody else's baby, if you helping raise somebody's child or give them knowledge, you are a mommy. Okay. So shout out to you. I didn't do a Mother's Day show, but shout out to mommies out there. Cause I think y'all all need the love, and daddies too who do it, but mommies, y'all push them out. You hear me? You get them out. by any means necessary. You might even have to get cut in half because that's what a fucking is. It's taking your body into 2 pieces and then putting you back together.
For real. I had 2 C-sections. My oldest was kind of like the same situation. I was in labor all day. Like, it was the night before, like 8 o'clock at night, the night before. I was in labor. And I'm telling my mom and them, like, you know, because I had my first son when I was 15. I've been a mother longer than I've been alive.
Damn.
I've been a mother for more than 50% of my life.
Right,
Like,
right.
so it just goes up from here. So for now, it's like, yeah. So I've not been a mother for a very small time. And so I don't know what it's like. I don't remember too much what it's like not being a mom. My not being a mom was childhood.
Hey, damn. Yeah, you're right. You're right. You started at 15. You've been a mom since 15. Wow.
Mhm.
You've been a mom about
So,
the
like,
same amount of years I have, and I'm older than you. Like, that's crazy.
yeah. And my second one was a scheduled C-section because they told me the same thing. They didn't want me to tear. They were afraid because of all the complications I had with my first labor. And I'm like, all right, cool. So I just had this schedule. But it was cool because Zeke's birthday is 7/25. He was born exactly 7 days before his due date. He was actually due August 1st, but he was born 7/25. Miles' due date was 5/27. And I was like, oh, that's cool. But
Yo,
you know, it didn't work out that way because I ended up having to schedule C-section. So his birthday is today, 5/20. However, this is a beautiful story of how the stars don't give a fuck. So my oldest son is born at 11:18 at night. Miles was born at 11:18 in the morning.
see?
So it didn't matter. They was gonna be polar opposites anyway.
Oh my God. So listen, my 2 youngest are polar opposites because one's a Leo and one's an Aquarius. One is born January the 22nd. One is born August the 22nd. They're both 22s, and you know that's a master number. Brooklyn, my oldest, was due December the 22nd. Now, because I had the C-section, she came on the 8th, but she was doing, so if I would have had a 12/22, 8/22, and 1/22. Now, I was looking at my babies. What's crazy is that my 2 little ones are my North and South node, my Leo and my Aquarius. So I see them, it's like seeing myself outside of myself. Like the way they like, oh my God, like it's just like it's so crazy because those are parts of you that like you're like me personally. I'm working on my North Node, so I look at my Leo and I see how bold she is and how fierce she is, and how my little Aquarius always wants to be like my Leo, and I be sitting there like that is so crazy because Aquarius is like all about friendships and groups and shit, and Leo like. Yeah, you can shine the light on me. I don't mind it, but it's all about me. Like my daughter, my middle child is just like that. And it's so funny because I look at my kids again and they actually are parts of the puzzle to make me into who I like. If I didn't have them, I wouldn't be who I am now. I'd be I would be totally different, y'all. Like if I didn't have my first child when I was 23, I'd be different than I am now. If I didn't have Nina, I would be different. If it was just me in Brooklyn my whole life, it would be different. But I have all 3 of them make a different impact on me. So, like being a mother, it's challenging at times. I'm not gonna lie. That shit is not easy, especially being a single mother. It's not. I'm not gonna act like it's petals and all that shit. But when you sit back and reflect though, and you think about like legacy, or you think about giving, like you can't give nothing more than like the biggest thing you can give in this world. Fuck money, fuck housing, fuck anything. It's love, and you ain't never gonna love nobody no more than you love your kids. Like even if they don't think you love them because you mean right now with this that you doing that shit because you get frustrated because you love them. You everything you do is because you love them so much because they are really you looking at your heart outside of itself, like just functioning. And as I get older, I just sit back and watch them. And I remember my mom doing that shit to me. And I'd be looking at her like, what are you doing? And she'd just be like, just looking at me and smiling and shit. I'm like, why are you looking at me? I'd be so irritated. Why are you smiling at me? Stop smiling at me. And she'd just be like, oh, Rocky. And it's just because she probably thinking like I am now. I'm looking at my babies like, wow, you're so cute. Look at you. You're little me.
Little me. Out of my body. That is so crazy. I feel like with my youngest, he's such a big part of my personality because my nodes are opposite of yours. My south node is Leo and my north node
That's
is Aquarius.
crazy.
So my oldest son is a Leo sun, Leo moon. My youngest son is a Leo rising, Aquarius moon. So like
You got your nodes, they in there though. Heavy Leo.
I'm a Leo rising, so it's so weird to have a Leo south node and then be a Leo. Like, what am I doing?
Right, be me, but don't be me.
Yeah, like be you, but don't be you. Not all the way, just this much. Okay. But like just to watch them and like how extra they can be with their emotions, especially my youngest one. Oh my God. The conversations I have with him, I swear I be having to myself in my head, like, sir, it's so, what's so annoying? I don't know if your kids do this, but me and my kids are very much in sync. So like if I'm having a bad day, has nothing to do with them. I've already had a day. They've been asleep this entire day. My bad day has been brewing. They have no idea this is coming. They wake up already in a bad mood. And it's like, I can't have a bad day because now I'm sitting here trying to tell y'all why today should be better for y'all and y'all deserve space. And it's okay. Talk to me. Like, let's watch a movie. I can't even feel my feeling.
Right.
I gotta like, oh no, y'all having a bad day. Let me like be in y'all.
Our emotions are intact. Like you can't even feel your own feelings now. You got little people who feel your shit with you. My baby, when I cry, I feel like she may not be crying about the same thing, but it just so happens it'll be at the same time, and I'll be like, nah, I gotta go see what's going on with her, and I want to sit here and cry myself. I can't even be in my own feelings because they are little pieces of you. They are still connected to you. And we forever connected to our parents. Like, our parents, it's flawed and as human as they are, like they are really like they're us. Like, think about you. You are a parent, right? You are you. And when you think about you, you want grace, you want mercy, you want people to look at you and be like, yeah, man, I was young. Like me, I was 23. That might not seem young to some people, but for me, I wasn't ready. I was like 23 and I was like, just got in the government. I was getting money. So I was traveling. So for 6 months out of the year, I was gone. My baby was with her dad. And then I would come back. And then I didn't have no issue with that in my mind. But later I was like, damn, there were things that was going on in her life, in her development as a child that I missed. Because I was on the road. I was in a hotel, but I was doing, I was working. In my mind, I was doing what I was supposed to do, right? But it wasn't. Everything was all out of whack because I was being the man, the woman, and everything. I was trying to get all the money. I was trying to be the mommy. I was trying to do all of these things. And I was missing out on the most important part of her life. And so now she going to prom. I wasn't gonna miss a motherfucking step. I'm doing your hair. I'm doing your makeup. I'm gonna find your dress because I went to school for fashion design. So y'all, I used to do peace uni. I used to do put people's clothing together. Like I was a fashion stylist, and I also I got a master cosmetology. So I'm a master cosmetologist. So I said, this is gonna be beautiful. This is gonna be a way for us to bond. Because me and my oldest, again, we've been through everything I've been through, she been through, right? Because I was 23. So from 23 on, she was with me, right? She's my road dog, but that's your baby. And your baby deserves to be baby sometimes. So when prom came around, I was like, we're gonna do because she's corny, I love her, but she's corny. She grew up in a white neighborhood. She's kind of corny. So she like corny shit, right? So she wanted to do the corny prom shit. No, cool with that. Because we deserve corny moments, all of us. It's only corny because we don't do it on a regular basis, right? If we was doing this shit on a regular basis, we wouldn't even see it like that. But for me, it was like really awkward. Like, okay, I got to do this super mom shit, right? So we did that though. We went to the mall. We went from one shop to the next shop to the next shop, finding the dress. I was videotaping, like, okay, we're gonna say yes to the dress. Is this it? Nope. Okay, go back in. Like let's do it all. And she finally found, like, because she was, again, my daughter has been with me through everything. So she knew when I was working and was making a bunch of money. She knew when I'm hustling and I'm just grinding. So she concerned. She like, well, I don't want my dress to cost that much. Mom, fool, it's your prom. You've been homeschooled. You ain't really experienced high school like everybody else. I want you to enjoy your prom. So we went into the store and we found that dress. I found the dress. She was in the bathroom. And she was trying all these dresses. And I said, this is it. This is it. I can see it because the way I knew it was going to fit her, it was going to be perfect. And once she put that dress on, I could see what her hair should look like. Everything just fell into place. It was just almost like, oh, this is so beautiful. Like, this is not really that corny. This is actually a beautiful moment. And when I loved the dress, but it was the beauty was that she loved it too. And we don't like nothing alike. It's nothing alike. We look alike, and that's as far as it goes. But like as far as clothes, the type of people she like hang out with, the things she likes to do, we complete opposites, right? Like, and so it's like, and she's fire and I'm water, so I'm always putting out her flame. So this time I just wanted her to shine.
That's your emotional, right?
Yeah, man. Listen, sometimes I be thinking I gave birth to like my not my enemy, but like we're so opposite. So it'll be like, how are we related? But we are, you know. And so when she was like looking at dresses, I was like, and she kept saying she wanted to like a villain. That's what my daughter. She was like, she wants to dress like a villain. She don't want to be all super pretty. So I saw that deep red dress, and I was like, that's you. And when she loved it, it was a beautiful moment. And I just wanted to say that because like we all as mothers, we try our best. I will say that. Like I think all mothers, even if they not great mothers, they doing the best they can at the moments that they live in, because we got to remember we're human. And when I think about my life, I don't think of it as just I'm just their mother. You know, I'm a person trying to make sure this happens and that happens, and to them I'm just their mother, you know. And so when I was a child, my mom was just my mom, and her focus should have just been me, right, in my eyes. But my mom had other things going on. And as an adult, I can now understand it. But as a child, I could not. And our kids, they don't understand it until they grow up and realize that everything we really do, even if it's trying to make ourselves a better person, is for them. So even though my mom went through her things and with alcohol or whatever, I feel like all of that journey was still to try to get to the point where she would be the kind of mom she may not have got there, but at least I gave her something to work towards. You understand? Like, so my kids, when I look at them, they give me motivation to be a better person, not just a better mom, but a better person. So when my daughter gets older and she want to talk to me about stuff, I want her to be able to come in here and talk to me, even though we think differently and dress differently and act differently. You know, that is still a part of you. And so, like, I don't know. I just feel like really connected to the mother this weekend because, again, my mom passed away 2 years ago. Yes, tomorrow. And it was exactly May 21st was Mother's Day last year, which is crazy because this year I was going to do the show on Mother's Day, but I just kept feeling nauseous and sick. And like I shouldn't do it. Like, and I didn't even realize until I went over and looked at her death certificate again. And I was like, I knew it was around this time. I didn't know what day it was. And it was the next Sunday. And I said, oh, she wants me I need to do this show on her day. Not general Mother's Day, but my Mother's Day. So I'm doing my show tomorrow. But I really just wanted to tap into that energy because I knew your baby had his birthday. And I was looking and I was just like, damn, he looked like sunshine. I don't know his dad, but I could see you all up in there. And I was just like, I know she's so happy. Because remember, we were trying to make plans. And she was like, it's Miles' birthday that weekend. So I can't do that. I was like, that's what I'm talking about, mommy. Mommy got to be home for Miles' birthday. But we'll link up. But that mommy energy is real strong. And I just want to know how you feel like being a mom now. Like, I know, like, when you're growing up, you look at your mom and you expect certain things, and maybe they didn't live up to that. But being a mom yourself now, you know, do you feel like you owe your mom some mercy, a little bit of maybe?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I was hard on my mom. Because I was going through the things, and I had adults in my space telling me what to think. And the adults in my space was telling me, oh, your mom not doing this, your mom not doing that. Because I wasn't staying with my mom for a couple years. I was living with my dad. I moved in with my dad when I was like, I think like 6, 7, or 8, one of them. And I stayed with him until I was like 13. Well, the summer, my birthday in September, so it was that summer I was about to turn 13 when school started. And so I you know, I was going through different things. You know, his girlfriend didn't really like me. Like, she used to throw hands on me, like broke my arm. Like, you know, I was scared in that house and stuff like that. But like, you know, it, like the stuff she used to say about my mom, like, your mom ain't buy this, your mom ain't do that, your mom not trying to get you, whatever, whatever. And then to hear like little mean things my dad used to say every now and then go around my dad family, same shit, like, oh, your mom, blah, blah, blah. And then it's like, bro, really? So at that certain age, like, I wasn't putting things into perspective. My mom had me at 15. So like my mom was like in her 20s with like 3 kids.
Right.
And she was adopted. She was like her family, she ain't had no family. I got family. I'm in my 30s. I got family and I got 2 kids. My mom at my age had 5 kids and a grandbaby on like, what the fuck? I couldn't imagine having 5 kids and a grandbaby right now. And I told her that, like, you know, a couple weeks ago when we was talking, because she was telling me about Zeke. She was like, yeah, Zeke about to be 17 this year. I was like, I know. God really gave me a teenager right now. I don't know why. And she started laughing. And I was like, so how did you do, like, you really was my age, like, with the 5 of us and Zeke. Like, because my mom helped me with Zeke. I still went to college. I graduated from high school, and I still went to college with Zeke, and Zeke stayed on campus with me some nights out the week, and he came to homecomings with me and everything else. Like, it was, you know, easy. But I had my mother and my grandmother helping me. You know, they had him on the days that I couldn't have him on campus, or I had too much going on, because I was working like 3 jobs. I was bartending, I was a dietary aide, and I was and I worked at Macy's. I fell asleep on the road a couple times, y'all, but I was getting it done. You feel me? So
damn, you had 3 jobs?
I had 3 jobs. And Macy's was seasonal. So like in the wintertime, in the summertime, I was really working 3 jobs. And so I you know, I have given her grace, you know, in those spaces in time. No, I didn't, because I was going through stuff. I don't know if we've ever even had that conversation about, you know, that directly, but I have had that, you know, I have given her that apology. I have given her that monologue, because I didn't get it. And the older I get, the more I get it. Like, this is what my mom had on her plate and what I got on mine. And I don't think one's better than or worse than the other. I think they're very different. But she had a lot on her plate. It's a lot. Like, being in your 20s with 3 kids, and then dealing with all the drama from the father, and, you know, and then, you know, when I turned 13 and my mom came and got me, it was a whole court situation. I, you know, ended up going, I was always a straight A student. So the judge let me choose where I wanted to go. He let me have a say so. And the whole thing was, I was just like, you know, I'm scared. I don't want to be there no more. I'm tired of being scared. And I don't want nothing to happen to, you know, the woman, my dad's girlfriend or whatever, because I had a little sister. And I'm like, that's her mom. I just don't want to be scared no more. And that was a decision I was making at 12. So I moved in with my mom or whatever, and I was just angry. I was angry. And I didn't have nowhere to put that anger. I was angry because I felt like everybody let me sit in that situation for years at a time. Everybody knew, nobody would help me. I didn't fully grasp the fact that whole time my mom was trying to get me, but she had to go through proper channels. I didn't know that. I didn't know that blocking me from seeing my mom. My mom would drive, it's like an hour drive. My mom would drive an hour down to come see me and get turned away. And then they would tell me she never showed up. Like, shit like that was happening. Like, I did not give my mother grace when I was younger. I didn't know how.
You know, you didn't even know to give her grace, because you was going through your own shit. Like, you were going through your things and you needed her. And that's the feeling that we don't understand, is that, like,
and could you imagine being in your 20s with 3 kids and have somebody try to keep your oldest away from you? And then when you do get your child, she mad at you and you don't know how to explain yourself because you're trying to heal from what your child just went through. In alignment with a lot of stuff that I went through, my mother went through when she was a child.
Yep.
So I'm showing my mother her childhood. Like, it's a lot to that. It's a lot of conversations we have had, and I just respect the fact that, like, I'm a Leo rising, and I'm way more comfortable with talking about my feelings, and she's just not. And then there's also the era she grew up in. Not even allowed to talk about your feelings. Your feelings don't matter.
No, it don't
You
matter.
got
It
out.
didn't matter, and they just had to do what they had to do, and didn't think about it. A lot of times back then, it was you were a lot younger getting pregnant. I mean, my mom was, I think, probably like 19 when she had my brother, and 20 when she had me. So she had two by the time she was like 20 years old. And like you looking at them, they grown to you. You know, they bigger than you, but they don't know. They still learning. Like if I think about where I was when I was 19 or 20, mentally.
I'm goofy. I'm like, doctor,
I would have to show me some real grace. And I think a lot of times a lot of things get blamed on our childhood, and it is our childhood because we go through these things and we don't know how to heal our trauma because nobody ever taught us how to go through things and release things and compartmentalize things and be able to just function without letting those things be a total part of who we are. But I think that like a lot of times, again, we just expect that grown-ups are grown-ups. You know, that you grown up, so you gotta do everything grown-ups do. And if you're not doing that, something's wrong with you and inadequate. But it's not true. There's a lot of things that people never heal from, and they just live through and go through because they've been told, like basically forced, like, okay, you got a kid, you got to take care of your baby by any means necessary, and they push through without any kind of counseling, encouragement. You know, nobody checking on you or nothing. It's just you gotta make it happen. You know, you gotta make
we were never allowed to have feelings. And life has always been difficult. Our life has been difficult. We go back to the village times, that's when it was easy. But you figure, you're coming from a generation like, and I say this because I've been around those relatives that like passed away when I was 12, but they was 100. I've had these conversations with my relatives that were born slaves. Like, you have a baby, you gotta go back to work. What you staying home for? And then they had kids, and their kids were born free, but it was still that mentality like, nah, you gotta go to work. Like, I went through this. You don't even gotta go through that, but you gotta go to work though. And then they had a kid. That was my grandmother. And then like she had, my aunts, uncles, my dad or whatever. Like it's that line, and that ain't that far back. That's not that far back. If I could sit at the dinner table with somebody that was born a slave, that's not that far back. And we still got that mentality that you're not allowed to talk about how you feel. We didn't even feel pain. You hear me? We didn't feel pain. They did whatever they want to do with our bodies. They was slicing our stomachs open at one time without medicine.
Yeah.
We wasn't allowed to feel pain. That wasn't that long ago. Yep. So, I know me personally, my grandmother and my mother still got that mentality. Like, you don't really talk about your feelings. And I was raised with that. I was the rebellious generation to that shit. I was that rebellious generation. Like, we're not about to talk about feelings. We finna talk about my feelings. Y'all gonna see me, you heard me. Like, y'all gonna see me. Cause I'm not quiet. We're not doing that. So I was that one in the family. Like I'm not doing that, and I bumped heads a lot with the matriarchs in my family. Like they couldn't get it. Like why you can't just like be seen and not heard? Why we gotta talk about this? I don't want to go. Like no, we have to. Like this is
a lot of times they feel what the generation before. Even us sometimes may fail to realize is that the reason why the generation is what it is that our deepest subconscious thoughts were birthed. So when we were quiet and we wanted to speak, we birthed children who spoke for us, So when we look at them and we like, oh, why are you doing that? It's because subconsciously we always wanted to do that, but we couldn't do it. And we are so mind blown that our children are now doing it. But again, like I said, like we birth subconscious thoughts. Our children are our subconscious. The things that we say, if I could be young again, I would do this, this, and this. And then you get a child who's rebellious, and you wonder why they're rebellious. But it's all the things that you wanted to be. My daughter. Again, back to her real quick. When she wanted to go to prom, she kept talking about this black dress. And I'm just like, damn, she's so, as much as I say she's not like me, it be those things like that. When I was in high school, I was determined to wear a black dress to prom because I wore black every day. Anybody who went to high school with me, shout out to Fode, rest in peace, Fode. But shout out to all my friends who went to high school with me. They will tell you if it was not a day I didn't wear black. I wore black every day. I was the conventional black emo in my school, right? So I wore black every day. So when prom came around, it was natural. I'm wearing black. My auntie was like, I wore a bat chain. You know, when people wore the pearls in their graduation pictures, I wore black bats around my neck. Okay. So my grandma was like, all right, that's a bit much. So she was like, she's not wearing black to the prom. So my aunt told me, she was like, you're gonna wear a color. And it blew my mind. And I thought about that because my daughter came to me. She was like, I'm gonna wear black, mommy. And I said, you wear black. If you want to wear black, you can wear that black because I'm going to let you, because that in my subconscious, that was my thing. I wanted to wear that black. I wore what my aunt wanted me to wear. But when prom came around, my baby said that to me. I said, we are our children. Our children are our subconscious thoughts, the things that we were not bold enough to say, the way we were not, you know, when I was growing up, again, I wanted everybody to be kumbaya and get along. And why we can't do that? I got a child who's like, I don't see color. And I'd be looking at her like, what? But I remember wanting not to see color and want everybody just to get the fuck along and why we can't. But now I'm like looking at her like, and that's me though. It's a reflection of who you are. So your children are you, even if you don't know it, they're the part that you hid inside of you. And let me just read these comments real quick, Sunshine. We got some folks over here. Maulisa. Shout out to yay. She says, peace and prosperity. Uni said, yep, my mother is like that because her mother and grandmother didn't know how to talk about their feelings, Sunshine. See? Yep. And she said, I said, fuck that. We gonna talk. I'm gonna hug you and I'm gonna tell you I love you. And I see my mom smile to herself when she hears me say to my boys, but she still doesn't do it with me. Yeah, it's hard. Listen, and even with me, sometimes my kids are super mushy and I didn't get that. So it's a little hard for me, but I'll be like, I'm gonna push through this shit because I want it. I just don't know that I want it because it's different, right? Maulisa says, I was the one that did all the things my mother wanted to do and say. And my children, forget about it. Yes. Our children are like, man, it's just amazing to be a mom. I just wanted to talk about that. So go ahead, Sunshine.
It is. One thing I could say that I'm grateful for is like my knowledge of charts when I'm thinking about my children. And you know, it helps, you know, for people who are very emotional and emotionally driven and they end up having, you know, children that are just as emotionally driven as them, you know, regardless of what their act out thing is, you know, it can get frustrating. You know, you could say in your mind, like, yeah, act just like me, but it's still frustrating. You know what I'm saying? But when you have like that, I don't know, the way my mind works, when you have like that structure, like, okay, I see what this is specifically this energy, and this energy over here is, you know, triggering my energy over here, or this energy is in line with mine. Like, you know, I pass down like hella Leo Virgo energy to my son. So they both have that in them. Like, you know, Miles, he's an Aquarius moon, and that triggers me a lot. You know, my North Node is an Aquarius, but like that detachment scares me. Like, this boy don't give a fuck about nothing. I'm like, wait a minute, we supposed to feel this intensely. Where's your Leo vibe right now? He's like, no, I don't care about that, Mom. Like, I don't care about this stuff. That stuff doesn't make sense. Just get rid of this stuff. Why are we even bothered with that stuff? Just take a nap. Fuck it. And I'm like, I'm over here with all my Virgo stuff playing like all the math problems on the board. Like, see? And he's just like, nah, sleep it off. It's cool. And you know, just having, especially with my oldest too, you know, having that knowledge, like he's so laxed about everything and I'm so uptight. And he, you know, now when I first had him, you know, I was 15. I wasn't on the type time that I'm on now. You know, that I wasn't on this type time until I turned like 19. And that was after like, you know, different catastrophic things happened with us up until I turned 19. So, you know, coming into that space, like he didn't get this version of me in his root chakra, you know? So now I'm over here trying to like, all right, let's put Scorpio in the root chakras in the transit chart. Let's fix some things. I'm different now. I don't want y'all making a rap song about me later, talking about how I traumatized y'all. I will beat y'all ass.
Hey, I tell my daughter that it's the oldest ones you gotta worry about. You know, hey, I said that same thing. My daughter make music, and I'd be like, listen, I know, don't do that. Like we gonna grow together, boo. Okay, I know you've been through some things. You was the oldest always knows. They even know you now. They know you before. They know you through the growth. They see you. They hear you outside your door. They know you. Like your oldest child knows you.
You're young. 22 life number to my 11.
You said what?
He's a 22 life path number to my 11. See? He's older than my pop. But it was crazy because when we was younger, he used to make me mad because he used to always move like he knew he was smarter than me. And that's where a lot of his I used to pop him. Yeah, I don't care. That's where a lot of his pops used to come from. Like, bro, you're not smarter than me. Stop doing this sneaky shit. I told you no.
My God, that is my oldest.
And he was Houdini. Like, this man could get out of anything. The crib, the bassinet, the little jumpy around thing with the thing all around you, the thing connected to the wall, all that. He didn't care. None of that. He didn't care. So when I got older and I started like reading his chart compared to my chart, like my chart got a lot of fifth house energy. I got a lot of Leo. I'm childish. Okay. He got a whole bunch of Cancer in his chart.
That's why he acts like that. And that shit triggers you.
That is pop over there. And he always been older than me. But I never, I wasn't there mentally. Because, I also come from the era child's place. A child's place.
Right. And we heard it all the time.
We wasn't, we spiritual because we go to church, but I'm not paying attention. I'll say you have an old soul. We'd be like, oh, that baby been here before that baby. But we're not giving that respect.
No, we're not letting them talk. We ain't letting them talk crazy though. We'll be like, calm down, little man. But we're not listening to the fact that you know what, you're right. Because a lot of times they are our guides. Our children will come back as our little guides. They will. They'll be the ones that you be like, damn, that's right. Like sometimes my kid will just check on me. I'm just checking on you. Like she my mama and shit. I be like, who the hell are you checking on?
I love you. You okay? You good? Especially since the accident, bro. Listen. I've been over here being treated like a princess. I love it here. I got 2 sons, y'all. I love it here.
Aww, that's what they're supposed to do.
I can be straight.
Look at them. Aw. Yay. Happy birthday.
That's the Leo in them. I want to be seen.
Yeah, absolutely. That's that sunshine. Maoli says it's always the rap songs and the novels. Girl, do not write a book. My daughter's a book writer too. She be writing. She gonna write one. I'm gonna be the evil witch or some shit in there.
Don't write no tell-all book about me, please. Turn into a BET movie and shit. Don't do that. Don't do that to me.
Don't Nina Simone me, please. Let my legacy live.
That about their eating habits because they eat very oddly. Okay, with my youngest, we were on our vegan trip because my oldest was vaccine injured. So we went on the whole detox thing, Dr. CB thing, because they wanted to experiment on my baby. They wasn't trying to heal him. They was trying to play around with his blood and shit. So so we went on the whole thing. He's fine now, He just has nosebleed. He's sensitive to things. Shit we shouldn't be eating anyway. He's sensitive to it. So, around that time, I got pregnant with Miles. So Miles was born, vegan baby, raw vegan at that. We was raw vegans because I'm extreme. I'm fire. Like, we're not just going to be vegans. We're going to be raw vegans.
Oh, my God.
So we went through all of that. So now they both have very weird eating habits. And one thing that really irritates me is the ramen noodles. They eat them dry. And I tell them, bro, I swear to God, when you write your book, you better not write that I made y'all eat them ramen noodles because I just cooked the food on the stove. Y'all choosing to eat peanut butter and jelly sandwiches every day. Ain't nobody tell you to eat them nuggets again.
I made y'all eat that shit.
I'll be cooking. It be food in here. You choosing. Right. Don't do that. Right. He'd be laid up with his girlfriend, like, yeah, my mom made me make my own peanut butter jelly sandwiches every day. Like, don't do that.
Don't do that. No. I mean, there's still things I'm growing. You know, my daughter is talking about dating. She's 18. Of course, she wants to date and all that good stuff. And I'm even picky about who I allow her to date. Like,
I got one more year.
Nope. And I started dating when I was 16, but she's homeschooled. Again, she's a little greener than I was, and I'm just a little scared in this world because, again, you know, she watches a lot of TV, and dating is not TV. Dating in this world nowadays is not like TV at all. And so, being a mom, I want to do everything. Like, she going on a date, I'm going with you, shorty. I'm sitting in the back. It's cool. I can do whatever. I'm just gonna be sitting back there.
I'm gonna be weird. I'm gonna be the driver, you know.
Hey, I'll be a chauffeur. I put on something cute and everything. You won't even know it's mommy. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna be cute. And I'm gonna just sit back. You know, if y'all want to make out in the back, that's cool. As long as he don't pull nothing out and try to slide nothing in, we good. So let's ride.
That's how I feel too about my boys, because it's not safe for them either. Some of them not girls, so we got that problem now. And you know,
yes, you gotta have them senses because these generations are a little different than us. Like, my spidey senses will go off and I'll be like, did you see that? No, you're not looking. But they'll be like, you know, mom.
Yeah, my spider senses. My boys are so comfortable with me. They be like this. That's how they live life. Like, mom got it. Okay.
Yes.
But that is something I'm learning how to do too, because now I have a 16, about to be 17-year-old. Mommy don't got it, baby. Mommy don't got it. And this year, you know, I know this was a transformational year for me, but I know this was a transformational year for both my boys because mommy really didn't have it. I can't even walk, baby. I can't do nothing for you. Right. So this was like, you know, a big bang in my home structure with my boys, them, you know, seeing me with my cape off and shit for like a whole year. I ain't like that shit. It didn't make my chest hurt. Ooh. but you know, I asked him because, you know, of course I was dating, I was fucking, but I'll be asking him like, you don't be going outside seeing girls, because my boys is homeschooled too. Like, you know, he keeps in touch with some of the kids he went to school with and stuff like that. And, you know, he talked to me about things they be saying about their girlfriends, but he be like, they all seem so depressed and like stressed out over these girls. I don't really want one. I'm like, oh,
hey, that's smart. That's why I was virgin till I was like 18, because I was just so I have the Aquarius South Node, right? So I'm the observer. I like to watch other people. I didn't necessarily participate a lot of times when I was younger. I just watch people do shit. You know, Leo is all about being in the spotlight and doing. Where the Aquarius is sitting back, it's the scientist. It's the one who's observing and paying attention to what's happening, and then just, you know, making notes and being like, oh, I don't want to do that because that don't look like that worked out too good. And then they just that's how I live. You know, I live my life. My aunt will peace, Jerome. My aunt would say I live very safe. You know, I was one of them, like, I'm not gonna have sex because I see my cousin, she always crying. Like, and it's always when after she's done something with these people, she's bonded with. I don't want that kind of bond with anybody that's gonna make me feel like this. So I didn't do that. And, you know, I would just try to live life as safe as possible by just being the observer. But this life, you know, I've been pushed out to this Leo North Node. And it's like anything I tried to do in the past, like that would normally probably work in my past life, doesn't work this life, because it's not the life I'm supposed to be in. And so even with my girls, you know, like probably in my past life, I probably did have the perfect marriage with and because I could just make shit work, because my whole thing was just to make it work, you know, just make it work out. And this life, it was like, no, it's not supposed to, because you're supposed to raise them the way you want them to be raised, not even coordinating with, because I don't even have a relationship at all. Like, it's not that I don't want to have a relationship with their father, it's just the way things ended up. That's a whole nother show. But to be able to have, like, I'm the sole, you know, I have sole custody of all three of my girls. So all decisions are made by me. Everything is on me. And that right there, that's a lot, you know, and they don't see that shit. But you know, I had to make decisions when COVID hit. You know, I had to make decisions. Life, you know, people was looking at me like, you know, you get them babies vaccinated. Let me tell you something. Not nan one ever been binked since they came out, except for my oldest, because I didn't know no better, right? Because you younger, you didn't.
My oldest, like, forgive me,
Our oldest children are always the ones that we learned from, and that's why we owe them some grace, you know, because they went through everything with us, even raising the younger ones, you know. They still do. Like my daughter, I'd be like, stop mommying, you know, like I want to give her a break from mommying, but she does it so naturally on her own now. It's just like, stop mommying them because I want you to be able to be a child, like be able to be 18, you know, take these years to be young, because you're gonna have your own kids one day and then you're gonna be like regretful that you didn't even be able to be a child. But our babies, like, man, again, like the bink, you know, like, and those are decisions we gotta make. And those are decisions that, you know, people like, oh, you know, if they get sick, that's on you. You know, even doctors were pressuring. You know, you sitting in the doctor's office trying to get through a regular checkup without having to go through all of that pressure.
People in line at Wawa, you know how people talk loud because they want you to hear what they're saying. So they in the line, oh, everybody make sure they get that thing, because they can't come around me. I'm around you. My kids is around you. I'm worried about you. And then it was also like, that's when I pulled my kids out of school. Like I always wanted to homeschool my kids because I didn't care for, first of all, again, apologies to my oldest baby. Oh my God. He hasn't had a little thing since he was 2 years old, because that's when he got
Mine too.
See, like so many similarities. But like with him, so he was going to school, but he would come home from school and I would do his homework with him, you know, and then I would also give him extra homework. And my extra homework would a lot of times clash or contradict his school homework, especially when he got into social studies and science and history. And so it was just like, I'm asking my son to serve 2 masters and he's in 2nd grade. Like, ooh. So much conflict there. So when we were in Virginia, my son was like 5th, 6th grade, came back over here, 8th grade, right? I don't know. This 2018, 19 years, weird for me. So, and we don't do grades. I'm free range homeschooling, and he's going to get unschooling. Yeah, I do unschooling. I'm not, and that was something I had to learn with my kids too. So pulling them out of school was a thing. I wanted to vomit. I was so nervous. I don't know why I thought the cops was gonna come to my door like, we saw you pull your kids out of school. I don't know what the fuck I thought was gonna happen. I was scared though, but it was so easy
because you got your kids at home.
I don't know what was gonna happen
because Black people don't homeschool. We ain't used to it. What are we supposed to be doing? I did not know a lot of Black people before COVID who was homeschooling their kids. So
Me neither. And it was scary. And I felt like I kept doing the wrong things. And then realizing how much my son was falling behind in school, like he wasn't catching nothing. I'm like, this whole time you was in school and you was passing the school and you ain't know this, and this. Like, I'm over here like, what the fuck? And then I'm over here checking myself as a parent. Like, why didn't I know he didn't know this, and this? Like, my man is just good at taking tests, but he's not in the knowledge. So I'm like, okay, so we just gotta, like, it is deeper. I have to teach my child how to learn, because it's deeper than you just being able to regurgitate shit on Fridays when it's time for the spelling test and stuff like that. You gotta apply this to daily living and daily life. So then that's when the unlearning had to happen, because I don't want to teach you a bunch of unnecessary shit. Now,
thank you. Wasting your time and energy when you're the most absorbent of information is when before they're 7 years old. That's when they're the most absorbent, and then you're gonna teach them a whole bunch of shit that they ain't gonna need later.
This bullshit.
Yes. Peace, Enoch. Peace. Hope you safe.
They be teaching them a whole bunch of bullshit. So like I had to unlearn, because again, I'm coming from a Virgo space. I, graduated the top 10% of my class. I'm in National Honor Society. I went to college. I'm one of them people. Like, I always been on principals lists and shit like that. I ran out of wall space for my fucking certificates. Like, so to come
from the brain, girl, you be like, you for real, you like full of information. And I love that.
love to learn. So to have two children that don't give a fuck, oh man, this is wild. Every day for homeschooling with my youngest, I want to like just, I don't know. I just want to jump out a window. I don't. It's always a fight because I have to fight through his emotions before I can give him the information. And it's such a thick wall. And then with my oldest, he's so lax. They're just like, yeah, whatever. And it's like, no, it's not yet, whatever. Like, we have to get this done. So I just.
The beauty of homeschooling and unschooling is that it's based on you as the parent. It don't have none of, and that's the great, beautiful thing about it. Like my daughter, like, okay, now what do we do to graduate? You finish, you take this little GED and you done. You graduated. You done what you needed to do. And you're not, there's so much information that you have that people who went to school do not have, even though you don't have information that they have, but the information they have, they won't ever need again. The information that you have, will take you so far because first of all, again, let's be reminded that our children, we only spend certain amount of time with them before they grow up. If we sending them off to school every single day, how much time are we really spending with our children? So when you're the one, if you're able to provide their education, I'm not saying I do it all the time. My kids' education goes mostly through online, but I'm there with them because I have a program that I have them set up into online. But I'm here with them and I'm able to spend the time with them. And that time is precious, right? Because again, once your kids are out of the house, they come visit you on holidays, then they get married, they have their own kids, they have their own families. That's it. You are done with your part. And so that time is so precious. And then we push them off. And then like Uni said, yes, useless information and lies. And we get them over there and they get all this stuff. And then we get frustrated because if you're a conscious parent like us, and then your kids coming in regurgitating shit from school, you don't want to hear that shit. You be like, man, that is not even real. You're like, what do you mean? My teacher told me that. Like, that's how my kids talk. My teacher told me that. And I'm like, I don't care what your teacher told you, because this is actually what Africa looks like. And this is actually what, instead of doing all of that, I'm just going to show you. And you're not going to go there and learn the lies and then unlearn it. I'm just going to show you and you're going to go from there. And so when my kids are in the grocery store and stuff with me, they be like, oh, they're so smart. And this girl said, oh, not to say anything, nothing's wrong with kids that go to school, but you could tell homeschool kids from kids who go to school. They got a different. And I said, that's because they learn differently. Like my kids learn from going in the grocery store. They know what their vegetables are and what certain vegetables that they never covered with us in school, because I had to learn them when we in the grocery store. And they learn how to money management, shit that they're going to need that they never taught us growing up. My daughter, she learns about financial investing and how much to put in savings, how to do this, how to do that. Not from going to school and learning about geometry and shapes and shit. Once she learned that, unless she going to build architecture or do some shit, teach me what I need to know to survive here. And them schools ain't doing that. They teaching you how to go from school to jail to wherever else. They teaching you how to follow the rules and the system.
Busy. That's all that is. They keeping you busy. We just keeping you busy.
Busy work.
Keep your mom and dad busy while they working for us. We keeping you busy.
Yeah.
And so we keeping you physically and mentally in this sleep schedule, because once you finish school, you're going to go straight into the workforce, and it's on the same time schedule.
Yeah.
It's you
same
have to have
schedule. Wake up early. Yeah. We conditioning you for that shit.
Mm-hmm. That shit did not work with neither one of my kids. My oldest kid, he used to have nervous fixations. He would pull his hair out so bad he would have bald spots. He would bite his fingers back. His fingernails used to be exposed. He used to dig holes in his face. My youngest used to throw chairs. I had the kindergartner that was throwing chairs and flipping tables. He didn't give a fuck. Every day, Miss Patterson, can you come get Miles? Jesus Christ. Right? Like, what's the matter? And then it was like, a couple days I had to go into the school. I would walk him into the school. We would have a good time up until we got to that threshold. Once we got to that threshold, his whole demeanor changed. And so something in me said, you know what? Let's start going to school late. I gotta walk my man to the office and sign him in. I'm gonna walk my baby in the building. This was before COVID. So I walk my baby in the building or whatever, and I just see how everybody address him. Like, oh, hey, Miles, we're gonna have a better day than yesterday. Hey, Miles, you better attitude today? Can we smile today, Miles? Why y'all doing that? Because yesterday was yesterday. He's 5. He's 6. You're grown. You don't do that. Today's a new day. Good morning, Miles. Hello, Miles. How you feeling today, Miles? That's what the fuck you say to my child. I was one of those. Yes, I would be in the main office. I was in the main office with my oldest one when they was in there wilding on him because he has a lot of Cancer energy. So he's very feminine. And so him being, so feminine and soft in his candor, we live in Elizabeth, New Jersey. Ain't no room for soft niggas in Elizabeth, New Jersey. But I bet you what, you gonna make some motherfucking room because Mama Bear is here and I'm hard enough for the both of us. You feel me? I used to be in fucking man. They couldn't stay in my ass and I don't care. And when we moved to Virginia, guess who became a substitute teacher and started teaching her baby class? Because who gonna play with my child and who gonna play with me? Like, I'm that parent, and I never cared. But the fact that I had to do all of that was like, when COVID happened, I was like, let me just pull my babies out. Because I was scared of going back to school. I was scared about, like, the vaccine shedding and all that extra shit. I was, and then they were falling behind with the internet stuff. Like, out here, it was, like, no regard for what our children were going through on this other side of those screens. Like, they really weren't getting it. So it was like, I would be pissed if you passed my child, because you and I both know my child don't know what the fuck he just did this last year.
Right.
But I would also be upset if you held him back because the school system is so stuck up on numbers. Y'all would just keep talking about how my child had to repeat a grade. And I don't like that. It's a lot of mental game plays they play in school when you really think about it. Y'all really be playing on our kids' heads with y'all grading and y'all numbers and all this this grade is this and that grade is that. And then all the Disney movies we watch when you seen the 5th graders versus the 8th graders. And like, yo, they really played on our fucking heads. My kids have no concept of that shit. And that's the first thing somebody will say to me, like, what about their social skills? My kids have amazing social skills.
Mine too, except for my oldest. She a little weird.
Astound me because they're better than mine. Like, whoa. I just want to sit over in the corner and be quiet. You over there interacting. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Like,
my kids have great social skills. I don't think that because they still go outside. They hang out with people that are nearby. I have friends who have kids, so they hang out with them. Like they hang out with kids. They just don't go to school every day.
My kids have cousins. We have a ridiculous amount of cousins.
Right.
We won't stop procreating over here on this side of the family. Like, they are very well socialized. They're not indoctrinated. No, they don't know the same music your kids know. No, they don't know the dances. And yeah, they be on the same social media sites, but their algorithms aren't the same as your kids' algorithms. No, they're excited for school fights. No, they don't know what 5th graders do versus 6th and 8th graders do. They don't give a fuck about that hierarchy shit or the competitions or all that little crazy shit y'all do in schools that teach division. They don't know any of that stuff. So yeah, they're not indoctrinated. I'm not mad about that.
Nope.
Not
my children, they've been called gypsy children because I guess I'm a gypsy and my kids are gypsy children. They go to sleep when they tired. They be up all times in the night. My kids are wild, yo. Like, I'm not gonna lie, they like little wild animals, and I love it because I'm wild, and that's just a part of my personality. I knew that my kids would never be like that structured, beautiful, set family like that because that's just not, like even my animals. When I pick an animal, I always want to pick the weirdest one, the one that you be like, oh, like my dog bit me, and that's how I knew he was like when he was a puppy, and he was like 4 different colors. All the other dogs were like all brown, all black, all this. He had a red spot on his bottom, and he had all this. I said, oh, that's my dog, because I'm weird. I don't want nothing that's not quirky or weird or strange. So my kids are like that. They want to sleep when they want to sleep. They want to get up but they're artists, they're creatives, and they live in they have the opportunity to actually be themselves because they're not traded into being somebody else, like by the school system. They're being told to be yourself. My daughter, she likes to do art and anime. So she's graduating. What are you going to do? I'm going to try to get into a tattoo parlor and learn how to intern and try to learn how to do that. And then I'm going to do drawings, and I want to she has a clothing line she wants to come out with. So we already got the press print and all that shit downstairs. Start pushing out her clothing line. Like, I want to support my kids in a way that my parents didn't know how. You know, our families didn't know how to support us back then because we didn't, and because we were never even taught that. We were taught to go to work, stay at that job, die at that job, you know, make sure you fight for your job, go in every day, be on time, all that bullshit that we were taught. I don't teach my kids that. I want them to work for themselves. If you want to have a job, I be trying to get my kids numbers. Look, this is how much money you need to make a day to make this much money a year. What can you do every day to make that much amount of money? That's all you need to worry about. You don't have to have a job. You can you can do tarot readings, $20 a pop. If you can get 3 of them in, that's $60. Okay, you're trying to get to $278 every day. That's over $100,000 a year. You know, you only need to make $278 every day to make over $100,000 a year. And most people don't even, but they feel like they have to run it and live it and go and work for these people when you really don't. You just got to tap into yourself and figure out what you could do, what services you can offer that will come up with 200. And even if you don't get to that point, if you make 100 and half of that, that means you're making $50,000 a year. I'd rather make $50,000 a year and work for myself than make $500,000 a year and work for somebody else and give them my energy, you know? And so that's how I want to raise my babies. And again, you know, this is an evolution. This is our subconscious. So my babies is like, I want to paint. I want to be a model. I want to be a movie star. I'm like, go ahead. What the fuck? Do it. Do it. Because nobody was pushing and rooting me on. So subconsciously, I knew I was going to have babies that was going to be like amazing. Because all of those amazing things I pushed down into myself. So when you push shit into you, it got to give birth. And sometimes it gives birth through your children. Your ideas come through your children. You may not do it this lifetime, but they'll do it. They may not do it, but their grandchildren will do it. Because guess what? DNA has memory and everything subconsciously, you implant that shit into them. That's why they make movies like, what's that movie? When they put the seed in your brain. What was that? That drink with
that Tom Hanks joint, because I keep talking about that movie, but I still keep forgetting the name of it.
Yeah, Inception with
oh yeah,
Inception, when they put the idea and it's a dream within a dream within that's what this is. And if we just pay attention, our children could be our wildest dreams come true. Like we just got to give them the opportunity to grow and not hold them back based on the shit that how people held us back. Like Jackie says, from school to a menial job. That's exactly what it is. They want to push you from one thing to the next thing, just keep you going on this wheel and ciphering your spiritual energy so that they can get rich off of you in this physical world. But you're not here serving your purpose.
They're making money off of our kids. Don't get it twisted. Them schools make hella bread off our kids. And when that whole thing happened, they started paying. I don't know how they was doing in other states, but they started paying us. They was like, oh, since y'all the ones that's feeding the kids, we started getting our own little EBT cards that was separate from the regular joint. It was like the school lunch. Yep. How much money y'all been making off my kid? Y'all been giving him them nasty ass, no brand ass food. Like, come on now. Mm-hmm. They be having our kids in there eating jail food, and they be in there making like $200 a day off of our fucking kids.
Yo, jail food for real. Even the plates look like the jail. That's what I'm saying. They get you prepared for that. Tyree said, yes, it's Leonardo DiCaprio. Absolutely, Tyree. It's Leonardo from that Inception. But yes, this life, like, if we don't pay attention, we will be regurgitating the bullshit that we learned and giving it to our children and cursing ourselves generations down the line, because you got to understand that our children are going to give birth to us eventually. Like, we're always just rebirthing into the same bloodline. So with all that bullshit later on, when you come back and you like, why is my mommy acting like this? It's because you 15 years ago or 15,000 years ago, you was the grandma and you the one who passed them lessons down. Now your generations, you being birthed back into this generation of bullshit, and nobody's ever broke that curse. And it's your fault.
That's why they be crying, because they be like, bro, I thought I fixed this shit. Y'all don't listen. Y'all not listening. There's people be coming into our space and they be giving us some messages, and y'all be too busy praising the speaker. Y'all ain't listening to the message. Listen, over here on some selfish shit. I'm over here setting stuff up for myself for later on. You gotta turn that down. I'm over here setting myself up for some stuff for later on, because like I want to come back to some animals, some food. That I want to wake up. My mom is like, "Hey, go walk in the garden, baby. Go get me some apples." That's how I want my motherfucking childhood to be. Like, okay, I'd rather go out here and play notes.
I want my
Like,
generations I want to be rebirthed into some real beautiful shit. I don't want to come back and be like, oh man, this is what, because you are the past. The reason why things are the way they are in this present is because of past. So what we do now affects the future. And so generations to come, every decision. There's a book called The Tipping Effect. I always talk about this book. It's called, my girlfriend gave me this book a long time ago. It's called The Tipping Effect. And it's talking about how small things affect everything. Like anything, small things can tip the scales, right? Like anything. And I'll give you the example of the shoes, Hush Puppies. Remember Hush Puppies? Hush Puppies went out of business. They was losing money. They was about to like bust. And somebody decided to put a coin in the front of their Hush Puppy shoes, and they called them penny loafers. And all of a sudden, the fucking penny loafer went through the roof. It was a small idea. It's the smallest thing, and it can tip everything one way to the next. So don't ever think when life is going fucked up that you can't come up with something and just change it all on your own. You have the ability to be the tipping effect. The smallest bug in the forest could knock a leaf over and do this, and a bird fly off and do this. And the effects of everything that happens came from that tiny bug in that forest. So you don't know. You may think you don't have an impact, but everything that you do has impact. You know what I'm saying? And so like taking your kids out of school.
Every time I quit a job, I'd be like, Lord, somebody praying for this job and it ain't me. I gotta go.
It's not for me. You know what? I was going through some legal matters, and I kept saying everything that's supposed to happen is happening. Everything, and this is my affirmation, everything that's supposed to happen is happening. Even when it seems like, why is this happening? Everything that's supposed to happen is happening. You got to believe that. There's nothing out of order in which it's supposed to happen. Even the things that you think are crazy and terrible, and this person died, and why is this happening? Because they needed to be reborn. We needed them in another form. We needed them in another way. They finished their mission. Whatever it is, it has its reasoning. It's just bigger than us. It's bigger than our sights. It's bigger than what we can see. And to will this back in, our mothers, because we keep everything in mothers, we keep everything to our, like as much as we share with our kids, they don't know everything. They don't even have a clue. My kids don't, as much as I share with my oldest, she come in and she see me crying. I may share this much about what's going on with me, but it's a million things going on with me. And we hold that shit inside because we don't want to put this burden on anybody else outside of ourselves. But sometimes you don't realize that when we hold that shit inside, we just push it into that subconscious, and we birth revolutionaries who come and they solve those problems. When we don't even tell them what the problem is, they coming in the world like, you know what? Like, why you got such an attitude? What was you thinking about, woman? You don't realize how strong your thoughts are? Do you know that women used to impression birthmarks onto their children by what they were thinking about? It may be something they were eating on a regular basis. Your mom ate pizza and she kept eating it. Now you got a little pepperoni, goddamn birthmark on your arm and shit like that. People don't realize how strong, how important it is for that woman who is carrying that child. What they think, what they eat, all of that is going into that baby. Okay, so I think childbirth.
The mom, you born a mom, man. You literally born with all the age you'll ever give life. And I be thinking about that on some Osmosis Jones shit. You ever seen Osmosis Jones? I love that movie. I watched that joint when I was a kid, and that's just how I apply everything now. And I'm like, all the eggs in your body living life. Like they're living. And when somebody died, it's either period or it's a baby coming. That's how it is in there. And so like you got to be mindful, like there's people inside of me that's living, and it's not even just the babies in your body, it's the bacteria in your gut, it's the bacteria in your mouth. It's so many people depending on you, mothership. It's crazy.
You are your own universe. You are a whole universe within yourself. You don't even know. Everything is listening to what you say to yourself, what you feed it, what you do. Everything is dependent on you. Make this shit work. You do. Young, Do you know, have you ever seen when someone dies, how quickly that body becomes a corpse? Like hard, it hardens, it gets this way because your soul, you are the life force within this body. You make this whole thing work. You make this whole thing function. And without you, like just like your God, without your God, you would not exist. Without you, this body doesn't mean anything. It's just a fucking shirt, a pair of pants. You can pull it on, take it off, but it comes to life when you're in it. It actually functions. It's things that depend upon you to be in there. So, like the shit we feed and tell ourselves, and again, the forgiveness that we do or don't grant ourselves, that's the forgiveness we do or don't grant things within us who are maturing with us. Hell, everything in us is grown with us since we've been kids. Our noses, our ears, our eyes, our lips, everything has been with us this whole time. So everything deserves grace. Everything deserves grace. And so when you don't show yourself grace, you don't show any organism within. Like you see people who walk around and you be like, damn, they aging fast. You know why? Because they holding all that shit in. They're not showing themselves no grace. They probably really angry with themselves. There's so much they putting on themselves. It's not about the outside world. It's about what you allow in and what you say to yourself. If you allow other people's opinion in, then it's about the outside world. But it's really about you allowing that shit in. And yes, we are multiverses. Absolutely. We are the multiverses.
Yeah, you have multiverses within you, and then you have like your children are watching you. They watch how you carry yourself. They watch how you talk to yourself. You know, they watching how you problem solve and stuff. You know, once again, we came from a lineage of people that would look at a 3-year-old, 4-year-old, and hold us at a higher standard for emotional intelligence. Like, oh, you're not allowed to express your emotions. You gotta be quiet. You can't. You don't get space to try to figure out how to express how you feel about things. But you definitely not finna sit in my space and cry or be mad or even be too happy or too excited. Like you doing too much. So we, coming from that space, we gotta give our parents grace and stuff that they weren't safe spaces because they weren't raised to be their own safe spaces. Nope. And for some of them, they're not going to get it this lifetime. This not their turn. They gonna be our great grandbabies. Like, dang,
that's what it is. They got to come back later.
Yeah, we gotta give space for them to do that though. Like, if you're not willing to give them space and just love them for who they are and where they at and what they gave you, like, you didn't have to have me to be here to do what I'm doing for these kids. You could have had somebody else that was gonna keep your shit going. But you spoke those words. You had those dreams. You had those goals. You carried yourself a certain way. You fed yourself a certain way. You allowed yourself to be around certain kind of people. All these things align for me to be here to do what I'm doing. And you might, people be scared of magic when they first see it. Like, ooh, this devil is evil. But then after a while, it's just like, okay, I see the bigger picture here. I see what you're doing. And yet, honestly, personally speaking, that's been my relationship with my mother. Like, initially, it was a lot of head, because she didn't, like, it wasn't, I felt like I was always defending myself. Like, I'm not trying to be rebellious. Because, we get from that, I'm angry energy to, like, okay, I'm not angry no more, but I'm still not who you want me to be. Don't be mad at me. But things are still being taken as I'm angry. Not angry, I'm trying to tell you, but I'm getting angry. Like, so, it just took some time because I had to, think about it. Like, my mom was, born and raised in Memphis, Tennessee. She had her different things that she was going through, being a teen mom and, being a daughter of a teen mom. My grandmother had her kid. My great grandmother had her first child when she was 13. Like, that was just a thing in our family. Like, my twin sisters that I have now, they're actually the first ones to break that curse, to not have children in their teens. So
yay. Let's shout that out for real.
So, like, it's happening, but it's happening in weird ways. It's like you don't get to control the how. You don't get to control how, because, like, okay, Grant, I got my twin sisters. They're teenagers and they're not teen moms, but they don't like to leave the house. They weird. They different. Like, it's a culture shock that you have to get in alignment with. But, like, didn't we say we wanted to break this generational curse amongst the women?
You don't get to control how.
Yeah, we did. Didn't we say that we wanted healed women in our lineage because all of our women got trauma? We've been sexually abused, physically abused, emotionally abused. Well, it's so much trauma. But to have these two girls, and we all live together, to have these two girls and watch them grow up with no fucking trauma, their father in their life. My mom is married. Like, what the fuck? This shit is amazing. I love to watch it. It's just you don't get to control the how. You don't get to control the how.
I will say this. You know, I was on a hiatus, and for a while I was just sitting back watching the world. I love to be in my Aquarius energy. I love to observe and not participate. I don't like participating a lot of times. I mean, I've been pushed to do so, but I don't. And I was observing what they consider the modern woman right now, right? The way that they speak and the way that they are about themselves, their bodies, what they want, what they don't want. And I respect that shit. I'm gonna just tell you why I respect that shit so much. Because first of all, there was a subconsciousness in us who birthed them that said we didn't want this shit no more. We want men to be men, or we don't want to deal with you no more. We want men who want to support us, who want to fall into the role of what we consider like what again. And listen, I know people gonna feel some kind of way, but I feel like, you know, we both, men and women, have a thought process of what they want their partner to be like. And I think we got a lot away from that with our generation of just accepting a lot of shit. You know, because I mean, we had that INDEPENDENT. Do you know what that means? And that shit was a setup, y'all. That shit was a setup. Or I love it because she got her own. She got her own. Yeah, I love that song too. It's a setup. It's a setup. It's a setup. It's a setup. Because at the end of the day, even though we independent, even though we may have our own, we were not built to be here alone and to have to deal with everything on our own. And that strong woman fucking concept, I'm so glad that damn wall is starting to crumble so much with this new generation of I want to be soft in my feminine energy. Yeah, I don't get to say how, because some of the shit I don't agree with, but I have to say I respect that shit, because honestly, we got to get it somehow. We got to get the pendulum back to the point where boys like girls and girls like boys, and we can be ourselves the way that we supposed to be ourselves. And it's okay to be feminine and to be a woman and to be proud to be a woman and to say, no, you will not disrespect me. And yes, you will open the door for me. And yes, like there's this young lady that I was watching online. I think it's like pretty brown girls, like some kind of school or something. And she talks about this guy who took her on a date. And he took her on the date and he didn't want to send her a car to take her. Like, he asked her to go to this place and it was like a wine tasting. Like, they're going to be drinking all night. She's like, I'm not drinking, and then it's far out. I don't even know where I'm going. And then you want me to drive back? Like, she's thinking ahead, right? Like most of us back in the day, dude be like, all right, we'll meet me at this party. We'd be like, okay. Jump in the car, go meet him at the party, knowing you're going to drink. How you going to get home? Now you stuck out. He taking you home. But she's thinking ahead, like, well, why don't you send me a car? You asked me on a date, send me a car. And that shit was above his. But like some women in our generation be like, oh, girl, that's stuck up. Girl, why you ain't get your own car? Why you ain't get your own Uber? Why can't she set a standard for herself and say, this is it? And if you can't meet this standard, then it's okay. You're just not the one for me. Because the man for me is going to send me a car, make sure I get home safely, make sure I'm not drinking and driving. Like, I love and respect that about these newer women who are really respecting themselves. I love it because, again, it's not just about having somebody. Have somebody who cares enough about you and your safety, right? Even if this is our first date. If you like me enough to be asking me out, if you're not just trying to hit it, then show me. Like, okay, send me a little Uber or something. Maybe I will pick up. But no. You have to set a standard for yourself. And the minute we start settling for less than what we deserve, you end up with less than what you settled for. And that's the real shit. You'll settle for something less and you'll realize you ended up with less than what you said you was going to settle for. So never settle. You know, and I love that about that mentality. I want to push that and instill that into my daughters. If they're not coming correctly, then you could do it yourself. You can go out with your girlfriends. You can go to Jamaica. Y'all could do whatever until you meet that person who's willing again. And you got to do your part too. You're going to make sure that he feels like a man. You're going to make, not in no sexual way, but in a way that, again, is appreciative, respectful. You know, you're going to carry yourself like a lady, and you're going to expect him to carry himself. I love that. Like, I'm seeing that now. There's a turn. You know, there is still some thottiness going on in the world. You can't stop that. But there is a turn I see in these young women where they're asking, they're not just asking, they're demanding the respect that they deserve. And I love that. I love that for them. And I love it for us and our children, you know?
I say absolutely should, because we come from a space where we just wanted to get chose. We wanted to be picked. I like who like me. If you like me, I gotta like you because I need you. You know, I can't go out here and buy a house and a car, and they don't give me bank loans. Like, you know, I don't get to get a mortgage. I don't get to get the kind of jobs that allow me these kind of luxuries. I have to have you. So if you like me, I just gotta pick you. Like, and now we're in a space where it doesn't have to be that way. That whole, you know, granted, we don't get to choose how it happened. And yes, I don't totally agree with how it happened with the whole feminism movement. I don't agree with everything about it. At the same token, I agree with the fact that, like, yo, y'all put us in weird spaces, bro. Like, you keep abusing somebody and then you want them to take the abuse. Nobody gonna keep taking this. Like, nah, I need to learn how to get on my own 2 feet so I can do for me and my kids, and I don't gotta put up with your nonsense no more. And everybody, and it's crazy, like the backlash you get that from that. But like, that's why God gave me sons, because, you know, I ain't finna raise these kangs over here like that. Y'all not finna whine and complain about a woman having standards. Wanna know why? Because you got standards too.
Right.
You are a divine being. Your body matters. These men were not taught how to value themselves. They were taught how to express themselves. They're not allowed to cry. Only girls cry. They don't value themselves. All they value is what they have. And because they value women, they objectify them. You got to be an object because you have value, because only objects have value. And I'm not an object, so I don't have any value. You know, I got to get the objects. Like, no, not doing that here, bro. You got feelings, they matter. You, if she laughing at you because you got feelings, or you soft, she gotta go. Listen, we not doing all that. I like you, I like me, so now we together forever. We're not doing that. We're gonna learn how to date. You're not about to just move somebody onto your couch and now y'all having endless slumber parties. No, you gotta go home sometime. Y'all can text each other, miss each other, do something, but you're gonna learn how to date. You're gonna learn how to pick what's for you. You're gonna learn how to value yourself, so you don't think that in order to show you that you have value, you got to collect a whole bunch of women or disrespect women or have a woman crying and fighting over. No, because you have value, bro. We're not doing it. You matter. And then I want you to be so occupied with yourself that that's not even the main focus in your life, because that's been the main focus in all of our lives. And it's gotten to the point where, like, we don't even allow ourselves to have, like, I've talked to people, they're like, oh, my man not supposed to have women friends if he with me. That's the problem right there. What? Do you know how many men I speak to on a daily basis to have a man come in my life and be like, all right, you gotta text all the men that, like, you can't talk to them no more? That's weird. That's weird. So yeah, if you have friends and a social life and stuff like that, and you have, like, people in your life to talk to build you up and all the different stuff, like, that don't even become like the center focus of your mind no more. Like, my life is so full. Like, you know, it'd be cool if I had somebody romantic, you know, at the end of the day, but, like, that's at the end of the day. That's not my whole day, you know? Right. We've grown up, we were raised with these Disney movies, these Nickelodeon shows, where these teenagers, all they cared about was a boyfriend or a girlfriend. Everything was about a boyfriend and a girlfriend. This boy like me. Lizzie McGuire got a crush. Even Steven got a crush. As Told by Ginger, she got a crush. Rocket Power got a crush. Hey Arnold got a crush. Everybody got a fucking crush. Like, nobody's just like, you know what, I'm having a great time with my friends, and me and my friends is doing shit. Like, it's never that. So, like, yeah, like, I be definitely telling my kids, like, because, you know, like I told y'all, like, they give me the gloom and doom. Like, everybody seems so stressed. I'm like, they stressed because they're talking to this girl. I like you, you like me, so now we're together forever. And I'm not saying when things go wrong, run. That's not what I'm saying. But at the same token, if y'all in a dating stage, let the dating stage be the dating stage. Y'all being loyal to like the trial period. You're not guaranteed the whole 30 days of the trial period, baby.
Cancellation anytime.
It never worked that way. It's not gonna work that way now.
Yes.
So, you know, you gotta teach that to your kids, because like we've been taught, like you said, we're gonna be at the same job forever. Who you with now is who you should be with forever.
Right.
You know. And when those forevers don't happen, we so fucking devastated. Like, what do I do now? That was my forever. What's my plan now? And it really don't be that deep. But you know, you've been just like always been on that one accord with that indoctrination. Like, this is forever. Like, I'm not doing that over here. We wild things over here. We go to sleep when the sun come up. We wake up around 1 o'clock. That's what I be talking about. I don't do meetings before 12. What? We over here, our breath still stink. You know what's over here?
Jody.
For real. And then I feel safer homeschooling my kids. I feel safer. All the shootings, the food, the water fountains. Over here in Jersey, it was a whole thing with the school water fountains. And I don't forget shit. I hold grudges. I'm sorry. And my grudges aren't just in interpersonal relationships. If I see some shit on the news, I'm holding a motherfucking grudge. I remember when y'all said back in 2009, the water fountains was dirty, and I never saw a news story saying it wasn't no more. So I'm holding that grudge. My kids love water fountains. They get hyped. No.
Nope. No, sir.
Only. Like, we're not doing that. So like, I just feel like they safer. We safer. Like, I would like for them to be around other homeschoolers, which is happening, because you know, when you put yourself in that space, it's coming in that space. And I'm grateful. I'm grateful to be a mother. You know, this is like my favorite thing to do. I really wish that this was the only thing I had to do. Like, I'm hyped for the feminism moment, but I also feel like it's just certain shit that we shouldn't be struggling to have, like food, water, shelter, clothes. Like, that shit is so abundant outside. Like, there's like fucking 10 empty houses on my street. And like, this shit is so abundant. Right. Like, I don't think that should be something that anybody should struggle to have. We should, like, and if I had all that shit in alignment how I wanted it, like, being a mom would literally be the only thing I would be.
But that's everything. So everything out of alignment. So we can't be the best mom. They don't want anybody to be the best anything that they can be. So it would be so easy, and things are made difficult for reasons. But I have to say, like, shout out to you for being a dope ass mother for over 17 years almost. Like, what the world? Yeah, shout out to you, Sunshine.
Man, you did an 18-year-old bit. You did an 18-year bit over there.
Yeah, baby. I did 18 years over here. Hard labor. And I got a 7 and a 4-year-old. So God, y'all play for me.
No.
I saw a little hand on my shoulder. That was my 4-year-old. Just came in, just trying to get on the camera. I'm not having it. Just to go back out there. They will be all, because one get on the camera. I got 3, y'all. They will. The little will come. The big one, she ain't too prone to being on camera. But the 2 other ones, this will be the Nina Simone and Jaja show.
Oh, I love it.
It's beautiful to be a mom. Hey, Miles, happy birthday. I hope that y'all had enjoyed this weekend together. I will be seeing my sister real soon. I'm so excited. Yes. Y'all, we gonna definitely go live. So y'all know we gonna go live while we together. And y'all will be seeing so many more of the beautiful star seeds. Bella LaFleur, Claudia, me, and Sunshine Monet L will be hanging out soon. So y'all will be catch us here. We'll probably ask Knowledge to go live real quick. Be like, yo, Knowledge, go live on Do the Knowledge. So yes, and shout out to New Knowledge being what's the dude from Charlie from Charlie's Angels today. I ain't seen your ass at all. You just put us on the screen and like I'm like, hey Charlie. But yeah, I'm gonna wrap this up. You good, sis?
Yeah, I'm chilling. It's time for us to. I gotta go beat my mans at Monopoly real quick.
I got mommy duties too. They come and tapping on my
See Harry Potter, my feelings is hurt. So now we gotta watch Harry Potter while I beat him.
Oh, yeah, that's dope. That's dope. Yeah, enjoy your mommy and time. I'm going to enjoy mine tomorrow. You guys, if you have the time, make sure you tap in tomorrow. Doing a very special show at 8:00 with Mau Lisa. It is a mother show. It's the mother part 2. If you caught the mother one, I love that show. We went in, we talked about the mother energy, the feminine energy that's returned. And tomorrow we can continue that conversation. We can get deep into this mother thing. And so, Sunshine, you know, you always invited to pop in. Every mother that I know, Uni, all of you guys, if you feel like you want to jump in, always feel free to jump in on Pronoia. I'll send you the link. You can be live with us tomorrow, but we're going to be talking about the mother. And I just love you, Sunshine. I'm so glad to be back here with you on Seeds of the Sun. It's been a minute. Yes, but I'm glad to be here. I think we had a dope conversation. Shout out to all the beautiful children, your sons, my daughters. Maybe we can do some arranged marriages over here and make it happen.
I said that already. I was like, it's time for us to have arranged marriage, especially when people started getting that little jabby. I was like, all right, the way my grandbaby's finna be set up, I don't got time.
Mine is clean. So, you know, clean and clean. Have to clean. You know what they say? You got to be equally yoked. I think that's what they was talking about.
You cannot serve two masters over yonder. Okay.
Yes, not over yonder. Yes, dope family night. Yes, spend time with your family. Again, I love you. I am so happy to see your face, your beautiful face. I was like, oh, we should go live. Hey, I'll be like, Raquel, you need to take a break. I've been wanting to go live with you so long. I was like, okay, so we're back, y'all. Every other Saturday, it is Seeds of the Sun here on Do the Knowledge Radio. And again, I have Pronoia Starseed Podcast. So if you're not tapped in over there, it's Pronoia. And it means that the universe is always conspiring for you. And where can they catch you, Sunshine?
Y'all can find me on Less Nobody's YouTube channel. I do a daily astrological update. So if you want to know what the stars are doing for the day and what that means for you, follow me. I have the planetary forecast up there up until May 31st. So tap in.
Tap in. She be giving out all the good information. She is the brain, y'all. She really is. Like, I think she is so smart. I just sit there and watch her sometimes. She don't even know I be watching her. I just be stalking. Sometimes I don't even say nothing. I just watch her, be like, damn, she's so smart. You know, a lot of my shit comes down to downloads. I'm gonna be honest. I'll pick up books. I read books every now and then, but damn, I'd be like, she is so damn smart. So shout out to my sister Sunshine. Shout out.
My sister's in Gemini, y'all. You know.
Yeah, she knows she a smarty pants. Her and so yes, I can't wait till y'all back with Virgo Virgin Talk, and then you'll see again us. We'll be back together in August. Yo, it's so much going on. So just make sure you tap it in here on Seeds of the Sun. Shout out to you again, Knowledge Born Allah, for giving us this beautiful platform. Shout out to all of y'all in the comments today. Y'all made it very interactive. Hey, Uni. Hey, Jackie. Hey, Tyree. And yes, everybody who came in the building tonight. Hey, Enoch. And everybody else. So
yeah, thank you guys. Thank you, Knowledge, for these fly-ass flyers. So my man be making these every other week.
Yes. And look at the background. That's what we want to be, y'all. That's what we're going to be, okay?
Perfect placement of us on the benches and everything. Like, yeah.
Yeah, that's dope. All right, we out now. We don't know if he gonna shut us down. What's gonna go on?
Yeah, y'all can tune in, but we gonna be out. Y'all can just check out the image in the back. Enjoy yourself.
Peace.